dating in Jamaica. Like, Jamaica is the sexiest place to date in the world. What, that I've been to. Like I said, I've been to Bermuda and all up and down the East Coast, Chicago. And I've been out to LA, but we traveled a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would take, I would say, at least 3 trips a year. You know what I mean? We had 2 grandmothers, in Maryland. So we would go to Baltimore and we would go to Silver Springs separately. Like, so one trip would be to see grandma, my father's grandmother, Grandma Grimstead, and then we'd take a separate trip to see Grandma Dade and my mother's mother in Silver Springs, Maryland. So that's why how I've been around Maryland like all my life, so I know, like, when I was saying earlier about they have the most beautiful women, that's a fact. But how could I have forgot about Jersey though? How could I have forgot about Jersey? I took them for granted. Like, Jersey has the most beautiful black women. So if they the most beautiful black women, they the most beautiful women. Jersey has the most beautiful women. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, educated, smart. And when I mean educated, like, I'm not saying like massively, which a lot of them do. But they're smart. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I respect street smart, because with street smarts you can get through any environment. But a book smart person can't survive in any environment. So I would always take someone street smart over someone who's book smart. I mean, there's a place for everything. My accountant needs to be book smart. My lawyer needs to be book smart. I don't care if he's street smart or not, but it will help. But like, even on my block, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had the most beautiful girls, you know what I mean? And all of them still, like, beautiful, attractive, you know what I mean? And they're, having good lives, you know what I'm saying? Especially, like, my neighbors, the Reed family, like, they had, Crystal, nAKE, beautiful, sophisticated, smart, you know what I mean? Stylish, they got it from their mom. My mom was a beautiful woman. She had like put on a lot of weight, you know what I mean? But like, she was gorgeous when she was young. My sister, beautiful, like, you know what I mean? Like, wifey material. You know what I'm saying? Wifey material. She's natural. You know what I mean? Wears her hair natural. You know what I mean? Like, dark skin, 5 feet, cook, take care of the house. You know what I mean? And smart enough to be executive secretary at AT&T. You know what I mean? Then it's like on the block. You know what I mean? Janie and Jackie. You know what I mean? Like, and then it was like the girls on my block, like, you know what I'm saying, in Plainfield, they would do, like, every year there's a 4th of July parade, and they would have like a drill team, like, you know what I mean, marches and all of that stuff. And they would practice on my block. They would have practices, you know what I'm saying? And we see them like working out, and it was like, nothing but beautiful women. Nothing but beautiful women. So really, there's beautiful black women all throughout America, you know what I'm saying? It's just that it's like they're different styles, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I like street smart but sophisticated, can, you know what I mean? Put on, go to a business meet dinner, you know what I mean, and feel comfortable and not, ready to curse the waiter out, you know what I mean, like that. And so that's what type of women I grew up around, you know what I mean? The poet, soul angel, Karen Davis, beautiful woman, you know what I mean? And she does poetry, like, yo, we had nothing but, beautiful women. You know what I mean? Beautiful, attractive women. So anyway, give a shout out to Wee Wee. You know what I mean? You know who you are. Beautiful. So anyway, we have beautiful women. Grew up with beautiful women. Love the women. And of course in Jamaica, like, I think the first Jamaican girl I ever dealt with was I probably about I'd have been about 17 or 18. And like I said, we used to always go to like different things. So my mom's thing was like she renting out. This was before Airbnb, but you could like rent like a mansion or something. And so we'd get like 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6 families, and everybody, space for everybody, room. It's just like how Airbnb is now, but this was way then, back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? 90s and on up. But we went somewhere, and it was like a resort area, and we met some, some girls, some females from Brooklyn. I met this girl named Sherry. She's from Winthrop, between like 96 and Clarkson. So those 3 blocks, I might have them, miscombobulated. But anyway, she was so beautiful. Oh my God. So beautiful. I wish I could see her now, see how she's doing and all of that. But we like, how you meet somebody, but then we never like linked up. You know what I'm saying? But I remember her telling me she was Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but like I said, it was like for me and how I was brought up. That's just another say. Okay, you black person from Jamaica. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I never thought they were different except from where they just where they come from. You know what I'm saying? But as I got older and dated and stuff like that, like I knew the city well, so it was nothing like for me to run over to the city. So I used to mess up chicks' heads because they never hung out like, you know what I mean? Like I knew how to hang out in Manhattan, so we could go into the city and have a ball. You know what I mean? Like she'd do something she never did before. You know what I mean? And so women love to hang out with me. You know what I'm saying? And I love to hang out with women. You know what I'm saying? I love to hang out with women. You know what I mean? I remember like when I had the caddy early in the game, like I have all girls in the car. The niggas, they want to be like, you know what I mean? Like niggas want to. It's always drama. You know what I mean? Like, yo, such and such, it's on. We got war with them. You know what I mean? It's like niggas always like, you go to another neighborhood, they trying to kill you. You know what I mean? You talking to the ex. There's always some like crazy. So we get to jump in the car. We had the Alpine system, the Vogue tires, with the spokes. But anyway, we'd be like out on the highway in Manhattan. You know what I mean? Harlem, uptown, downtown, the Village. You know what I mean? Go over to Brooklyn, Albee Square Mall. You know what I mean? Yo, and so that was really like dating life. You know what I mean? And then it's like, compared to like Jamaica, it's like Jamaica just very romantic. It's like New York City, but without the concrete. You know what I mean? It's like trees, fresh air. You know what I mean? And like I know, like the first year or two with my son's mother, it was like just like life. It was great. You know what I'm saying? It was great. We had problems once my son was born, because once my son was born, that showed the cultural differences. You know what I'm saying? That's when it was like, okay, wow. You know what I mean? Like, we treat our kids differently, and all of that. And it's like I said, not all. Sometimes it's a class thing too. You know what I mean? Not even like a culture thing, but a class thing. But that's when, like, it was different. You know what I mean? What I expected out of, my son, you know what I mean, in his future was different than what she, expected and wanted. You know what I mean? So, but the one thing that we agreed upon was we weren't going to control him. We were going to let him grow. You know what I'm saying? But we were going to control his surroundings. So it's not like, yo, don't do that. Don't do that. We're going to put him in surroundings that we have control of so that he can flourish in those surroundings. So that was the philosophy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let him do whatever. Climb, figure out. Because, one thing about growing up with around, Caucasians is that, like, their lifestyle is completely different. How they, look at the world, how they raise their kids, how they interact with their kids. Some of it good, some of it is bad. But Elijah Muhammad taught us how to study how white people take care of business. Because that's the only thing that we can learn from them. You know what I mean? It's from business. We don't, we really learn. So anyway, as far as a business is that, they look at life as a business. You know what I mean? So, like, I live in Plainfield, right? About less than 10 blocks from the borderline of Plainfield, Eastern going into Scotch Plains. And Scotch Plains is predominantly a white town, but they got a black section. It's like kind of Piscataway. Wherever the city is set up, where it's like at the lines, it kind of cross over to a little black section in the next city, but not far. Before you know it, it's all white. And so the next town over from in my area was Scotch Plains, and it was white people. And I had an aunt that had like 3 houses on one block, one with her, one for her son and daughter, and one for her and her husband. And they rented out that one. But anyway, I got to stay there for a while. You know what I mean? Maybe about 6 months, and I saw, like, how it was different. Like, life was different. The block was quiet. People, like, white people wasn't sitting on their porches. Like, we all sat on our porches. We sat on the walk in front of the house, on the curb. You know what I mean? We played in the street. They don't really play in the street. They play in their backyard. They might ride the bike on the street with the parents. So the whole thing was different. But the thing that stood out the most was when it was time for my aunt to sell the house. And she sold the house. And so the white guy, bought the house. And I saw how he bought the house. Like one of her neighbors, wanted the house. They wanted to buy up all the houses so no black people could buy the houses again. Because like I said, she was the only black people on her block. But anyway, I saw how he did it. Like, he had his son with him the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they went to go look through the house, his son was dead. When they was doing the paperwork, his son was dead. When they bought the house and it was time to, like, do upgrades, and he walking on the roof, the son was right there. You know what I mean? And so that's the one thing that I took from, you know what I mean? It was like, yo, that's how I want my son, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna teach him, like, things, and the things that I don't, have someone teach him. Like construction, I know nothing about construction, but I know he needs to know how to build a door frame. If you can build a door frame, you can build a house. This is what I was told by Mr. Mack, one of my mentors.
P Funk City G.